Hi everyone, it's Megan from Gingerbread Mama. I want to take a second before I get started to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to me. You guys mean the world to me, so thank you so much. I'm trying really hard to build a community of really supportive people, and the fact that you want to be a part of that really means a lot to me. If you haven't hit the little bell, make sure that you hit the bell so that you get notifications about all of my new posts. I also want to make an announcement that in February I'm going to start making 3 videos a week, possibly more, but I'm going to definitely commit to at least 3 a week. So you can be looking forward to more videos. Not quite sure what day that extra video is gonna be. I'm thinking probably on Sundays, but we will see. Also, I need feedback from everyone. If you think my videos would be better suited at a different time, please comment below and tell me what time you would like to see my videos be aired, because then I can adjust that and make sure that I post them when you guys are most able to watch them. So tonight I want to talk about a couple of things. They kind of go hand in hand. I want to talk about bullying, specifically bullying in teenagers and kids. And I also want to talk about what teen depression looks like. In high school, I was pretty badly bullied. Junior high, I was bullied a little bit for different reasons, and it was really just kind of petty stuff, and it eventually went away. My senior year, I started with a really, really bad bout of depression. And because of that, a lot of things suffered. My moods changed, my hygiene tanked, and a lot of people noticed. A lot of people made fun of me for it, and they weren't shy. They would make fun of me about it right to my face. And it only made things worse. So to those people who, I know it seems like ancient history, but it has affected me my entire rest of my life. So to those people who bullied me my senior year, I strongly encourage you to do better with your children than you did with yourself. Everyone wants to say that, it's just how teenagers are, but we can change that as parents. We can teach our kids to be more compassionate to others. We can teach our kids to maybe ask more questions instead of passing more judgment. And if we notice them doing those things, we can stop it. We can ask them, how would you feel if that was you, or if that was your little sister or your big sister? How would you feel if someone was saying that to your parents? Those things need to be asked. These things need to be addressed, because depression is real. Depression in teenagers is rising, and it's scary. And a lot of the time, if somebody would have just been nice to someone, it could prevent a suicide. It could prevent self-harm. It could prevent a lot of really drastic things that happen in high schools now. If people would just stop trying to impress everyone else by being mean. We need to stop encouraging popularity by humiliating other people. It's just absurd that is what makes somebody cool. So we need to realize that as parents, maybe we can't completely eradicate bullying, but we certainly can be a huge impact in it. And the first thing that we need to do is to educate our children and talk to them, learn who their friends are so that maybe they can get through to them if something is going on. And we really, really need to stop bullying people ourselves. If our kids see us being judgy because of somebody wearing, say, pajama pants at Walmart, or they hear us calling someone a name when they really did nothing to us, we're teaching that to them. And had I realized that I was depressed, because even I didn't know, maybe I would have reached out to someone. But I didn't know what was going on with me as a teenager. And maybe my parents didn't know either. My friends were supportive, the few that I did have. And I had a running joke after the bullying started with a friend of mine saying that I was going to start wearing one t-shirt every day and write on it, "Smelly Kid," to try to face them, to try to acknowledge that I knew what they were doing, that I could hear them talking in front of me about me. And so I made that t-shirt. For this video, I think it is that important that it deserves its own t-shirt, to realize that my hygiene, that was depression. Other ways that depression shows up in teenagers are changes in appetite. They eat too much. They don't eat enough. Changes in their social interactions. If they stop hanging out with their friends or they start hanging out with a different crowd. Not necessarily do you need to go interrogate your teenager, but it'd be good to ask a question or two. Maybe just keep an eye on them. If you start noticing cuts, let me tell you from experience, cutting, self-harm is not always on the wrist. You're not always going to see it here. Mine was on my legs. I cut on my legs because I knew nobody would see it there. You know, a lot of the time, I just wanted someone to ask me if I was okay. And maybe someone is going to take that as, oh, well, she just wanted attention. But that wasn't it at all. I just really didn't know what was going on. And maybe asking me if I was okay would kind of put that light bulb on that I need to evaluate. Maybe there is something going on. Maybe there is something wrong. You know, it's hard sometimes to identify depression in teenagers because they're already going through a lot of hormonal changes and emotional ups and downs, and they're moody, and, you know, a lot of things are going on with them. But we need to be paying attention. We need to have a good relationship with either their friends or their friends' parents and open that door to them. Make them feel comfortable that they can come to you if they suddenly can't focus on things, or they're focusing too much on things they did wrong. Maybe they're talking slower or moving slower. Maybe they're sleeping all the time, or they can't sleep at all. A lot of these things mean depression. And yeah, sometimes it's just a teen being a teen, and maybe they'll come out of it, but it's definitely something to look into, to be vigilant for, and to just acknowledge. And don't go to them pointing fingers or accusing them, because it's just going to push them away. Depression also can lead to drug use and alcohol abuse, and unfortunately that just makes it worse. You know, we call it self-medicating, but it really isn't actually medicating the problem at all. It's just numbing us to it. And I think a lot of the time, if we teach our kids to be nice to those kids that maybe seem awkward, or maybe they haven't showered, we need to teach our kids that maybe we need to just go say hi to that person. Ask them how they're doing. Compliment them on something. I like your shoes, or your backpack, or you did great in class today. Those kinds of things would have done a world of difference, for me at least. And I think if we include those kids more and stop isolating them, maybe we can push for an end to this stigma around mental health, and we can have open conversations about it, and we can create a more welcoming culture around the entire idea of mental health and around teenagers. You know, teenagers are so cruel, and we need to learn a way to maybe soften that a little. So I hope I gave you something to think about. If you would like to share a story with me about a teen with depression or bullying, please feel free to leave it in the comments. I read every single comment I get, and I try to respond to every single one as well. Let's start a movement. Let's start a conversation about this. I'm going to include the suicide prevention lifeline in my description below. So if you have a friend, or if you yourself feel like that is the route you're going, please, 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 I'll include the hotline. Go to the hotline, go to the website. They have a chat feature on the website. Call your doctor, do something, because your life is too precious to end it so young. Just remember, there's no such thing as a cookie cutter life. Good night.